She's too poor. He doesn't speak the right language. She needs to stay home to raise her siblings. For millions of young people around the world, education is a closed door. The good news is, some of these problems we can solve with open technology. That's what the Call for Code Education Innovation Case Competition is all about. This is a call out to colleges and universities. Bring your brightest minds and best ideas. Join the case competition. Develop the future of digital learning and break down barriers to education for people everywhere. Getting an education reduces the chances of child marriage, trafficking, and poverty. For many, education is not just a matter of learning, but of surviving. This is your chance to help. Build your skills while you help solve real-world problems. How will you answer the call?
Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Ruth Davis and I'm the director of Call for Code. Thank you to the many university students that are joining us from around the world. I am so excited to be here today with all of you as we kick off the Call for Code Education Innovation Case Competition. We have a great program here for you today, not only to get you ready for the case competition, but also to get you inspired by the stories and perspectives that you'll hear in the next hour. But before we turn to the distinguished guest speakers, I'd like to take just a few minutes to tell you about the mission of Call for Code, as well as the education case competition theme. In case you're not familiar, Call for Code brings together problem solvers and innovators from around the world to build technology solutions that address the world's most pressing issues. And what really sets Call for Code apart from other Tech for Good competitions is that we are focused on turning viable Tech for Good solutions into working, validated solutions that get deployed into communities around the world so that they can make a real difference. When we started in 2018, our first global challenge centered around natural disasters like earthquakes, hurricanes, and fires. Over the last 3 years, Call for Code has grown through additional challenge themes, new competition formats, and year-round open source programs to take on a variety of pressing societal and humanitarian issues, including COVID-19, racial justice, and climate change. We have also grown our community with over 400,000 problem solvers and developers from 179 countries coming together to participate in our competitions and contribute to our open source technology solutions. That worldwide community is one of the most inspiring things about Call for Code. We have contributors from all backgrounds, both technical and non-technical alike, presenting innovative ideas and collaborating to design and build solutions so that we can reach diverse communities around the world and make a lasting impact through technology. So Call for Code hosts many different programs, and there are countless opportunities to get involved with Call for Code throughout the year. In fact, you all are here today as part of a new challenge for Call for Code, the Education Innovation Case Competition. Now let's talk a bit about this competition that centers around equitable education for all. Why are we taking on the challenge of education, and why now? Let's be clear, the world is facing unprecedented interconnected challenges, and the truth is unequal access to quality education is at the root of so many. This challenge we face is borderless, and it requires a diverse worldwide community of innovators to solve. Broadening this access can equalize communities, provide new and powerful opportunities for students, and improve the overall health and longevity of entire societies. I want to take a moment to tell you why this theme means so much to me. Education is a passion of mine. It has been a core value since I was young, the product of an upbringing that placed so much emphasis on learning. I am profoundly aware of how fortunate I am to have had great access to education from an early age. My mother was a K-6 teacher and later became an administrator of an early childhood learning program called Head Start. My father was an electrical engineer. In fact, I followed in his footsteps and later earned his master's in math and computer science at night so that he could become a college professor and ensure that my two sisters and I could earn a college degree without cost. Growing up, I would tag along with my parents, spending a great deal of time in many different learning environments beyond my own development in the classroom. I realized that my opportunities and access to great education are not the norm for so many around the world. Even before COVID-19, equal and equitable access to quality education was one of the greatest challenges facing our global society. Challenges with socioeconomic disadvantage, geography, race, gender, and disability perpetuate an uneven playing field when it comes to learning and educational achievement. And now, as you all have experienced, the global pandemic has made everything about education more complicated for everybody, for students and educators alike. Growing poverty and the shift to remote learning are making children from the poorest households and other vulnerable communities less equipped to participate in structured learning and more likely to drop out. By UN estimates, the pandemic has wiped out 20 years of progress in education. So what are we trying to solve by holding this case competition? One of the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals is to build a future of education that ensures accessible and equitable quality education and promotes lifelong learning opportunities for all. We are using that goal as a guide for the competition. To that end, we know that technology can be key to addressing the global issues and providing real-world solutions for global communities in need. We believe that technology can help even the playing field for disadvantaged and underserved communities. With the right solutions, together, we can help build the future of education. For this competition, we're asking teams of students to devise innovative tech for good solutions that address the diverse problems within our education theme. We encourage you to be creative and focus your work on the specific issues that inspire you the most. For example, you could work to design a solution that narrows the gender gap and broadens educational opportunity for women, or relieves the burden of educational inequality that falls disproportionately on underserved communities, or closes the digital divide for communities with limited or no access to the internet and technology. But these are only a few of the many issues that you can choose to address. As you brainstorm and get to work, I urge you to take advantage of the resources, the mentors, and the stories you'll hear from speakers like our guest here today to more deeply understand the real-world challenges people are struggling with. Maybe, like me, you have a personal connection to the world of education, and you know the powerful benefits of quality education and what it provides. Maybe you'll be inspired to make a difference for students who live on the other side of the world with profoundly different circumstances. Or perhaps you're passionate about solving issues that you've experienced much closer to home, whether in your own life or in your local community. As I mentioned earlier, Call for Code is a Tech for Good program. So while you don't need to submit any working code for this competition, the solution you design does need to demonstrate how technology can help address the problem you identify. Your team will need to describe the technologies required to build your proposed solution and include at least one IBM technology. Speaking of your team, while the composition of your team is ultimately up to you, we encourage you to put together people with a diverse set of skills and ideas so you can approach your solution proposal from multiple angles. Perhaps there's a place on your team for someone with technical interest and know-how to help ground your solution in what's possible. And maybe you'll have a designer who can help make the solution user-friendly and visually appealing. Maybe another team member is a strong communicator, well-equipped to craft the story of your solution in a unique and engaging way. And of course, there's room for an inspirational leader who ensures your team stays focused on the human aspect of your work, making sure that your solution serves individual people and solves real problems. You'll have the opportunities throughout this competition to get help from mentors, sharpen your skills through learning resources and events, and network and collaborate with other students. And keep in mind, there are some very exciting prizes. The top 3 teams will be awarded prizes from a $35,000 pool. The Clinton Global Initiative University, or CGIU, and IBM have partnered on several challenges, engaging students to develop technological solutions to some of the world's most pressing issues. We're thrilled to have CGIU's collaboration once again for this competition. The grand prize team will also be invited by the CGIU team to participate in their year-round program that supports the next generation in developing social impact projects to address pressing societal challenges. Winning team members will receive an invitation to the CGIU 2022 virtual annual meeting hosted by Bill Clinton and Chelsea Clinton, as well as access to mentoring, training, networking, leadership development, and professional growth opportunities provided by CGIU throughout the year. Each student from the winning team will also be invited to apply to IBM job opportunities. Beyond the grand prizes, there are several additional opportunities for cash prizes and interviews as well. You have accomplished so much to get where you are in your learning journey. Now, students around the world need your help to have a chance to do the same. They need your expertise, your experience, your empathy, and there is no one better prepared to begin solving this problem than you. We are so excited to have all of you here participating in this competition. We have some great speakers and activities planned over the next few weeks, and I cannot wait to see the innovative solutions that all of you will design to help make quality education a right for all. I am now delighted to welcome a distinguished world leader to the Call for Code Education Innovation Case Competition, Ms. Jayathma Wickramanayake, the United Nations Secretary General's Envoy on Youth. Originally from Sri Lanka, Jayathma was appointed as the UN Secretary General's Envoy on Youth in June 2017 at the young age of 26. She is the youngest senior official in the UN and the first woman to hold that position. In this role, Jayathma works to expand the UN's youth engagement and advocacy efforts and serves as a representative and advisor to the Secretary General. She plays a key role in transforming the youth development sector in her home country, creating the #generation movement for the civic and political engagement of young people, especially young women in Sri Lanka. She has also advocated for the rights of young people everywhere to meaningfully participate in bringing about positive change. Please join me in welcoming Jayathma Wickramanayake.
Thank you very much. It is an honor to be here, and I thank the Clinton Foundation and IBM for the invitation. This year's Call for Code focused on education, which is a central topic for young people, but also one which raises a great concern around the world, especially in light of COVID-19. For an example, in the peak of the crisis, almost 1 billion students, most of whom are young people, were affected by school and university closures worldwide. While many link that period with a shift to digital learning, the reality is that 2 in 3 children and young people under 25 years, or 2.2 billion, cannot be reached as they do not have access to internet connections at home. The most impacted are young people from poorer households, from rural communities, and young women and girls. It's also estimated that over 11 million girls and young women may never go back to school after the COVID-19 crisis due to adolescent pregnancy, early and forced marriages, and gender-based violence. But despite all of this, young people in all their diversity have been leading the way and employing their most innovative ideas to solve the issues that they and their communities are facing, often using technology as a tool for social good. In light of the COVID-19 pandemic, young people's contributions through their innovative solutions have become more and more visible as many young people from around the world created homegrown initiatives to support their peers, their schools, their teachers, and their communities. Technology and connectivity play a key role in increasing inclusion, and young people can play a pivotal role in efforts to bridge the digital divide. For an example, in northeastern Nigeria, young people came together and founded the Street to School initiative, a hybrid online-offline community learning hub that empowers adolescents who are not in school to learn basic foundational and soft skills. In Zimbabwe, where young innovators created Rura Tech, a rechargeable mobile table trolley, which provides learners and educators with the equipment necessary for training and support for the progression of science, technology, and math across Southern Africa. Examples like these are endless, and I'm particularly excited to learn about your own innovative ideas. Initiatives like Call for Code are critical in fostering young people's solutions to our world's most pressing challenges. It is essential for young people to be at the forefront of innovative solutions, and that young people are recognized for their imperative contributions in creating positive, constructive, transformational change around the world. It's also very important to highlight that despite the growth of innovation, many young innovators from under-resourced and underrepresented communities are still left behind, and there is a need to provide more support to empower them, financial and non-financial resources, to reach their fullest potential. For that to be possible, we must work together. We must work together across sectors, bringing together governments, business, civil society, academia, international organizations, youth organizations, and the UN, of course. Just last month, for the celebration of International Youth Day on the 12th of August, my office had the opportunity to amplify the important work that young innovators are doing through our Youth-Led Innovations Festival and Solutions campaign. We highlighted over 100 youth-led solutions from around the world. All of these were based on the fundamental principle of working together, not only for young people, but with young people in partnership, as outlined in the UN's Youth Strategy, Youth 2030. Youth 2030 lays out the roadmap for the United Nations, governments, and our partners to work with and for young people around the world. And I invite everyone to make the most out of this framework and together build a better world for all of us. In closing, as you develop your solutions, it is essential to keep in mind that education is not something nice that we can do for young people. It is a fundamental human right, a global public good, and a public responsibility. So having the opportunity to develop and propose solutions today for education, I hope that all of you, the young innovators in this virtual room, will also take into account the importance of creating solutions that are rights-based and that address the intersectionality of identities of the group that will benefit from your solutions. Universal equality, universal quality, and relevant education for all, as envisioned in the Sustainable Development Goals, especially goal number 4, is also the most powerful tool and the smartest investment to ensure that we build forward better from the current crisis to avoid future ones. I look forward to hearing your ideas, and I wish you fruitful discussions ahead. Thank you.
We are so grateful to the UN Envoy on Youth for being here with us today and inspiring us for the challenge ahead. Next up, the team is going to take you through all of the rules, details, key dates, and logistics of this competition.
Welcome everyone to the Call for Code Education Innovation Case Competition. We're bringing students together to design solutions that make education a right, not a privilege. My name is Susie Kother, and I'm the project manager of Be My App. Myself and my team members are here for the next 7 weeks to support your experience, to make sure that you have a wonderful case competition and you get the most out of this opportunity. We want you to learn and grow and meet other people and really develop yourselves. This overview will cover all aspects of the event, starting with the challenge statement, the prizes, the timelines and deadlines that you need to be aware of, the webinars, the team formation, event platform, gamification, judging criteria, submission requirements, learning resources, and links. I know it sounds like a lot, but we'll break some of it down. And of course, at any time, farther into the competition, you'll be able to reach my team if you have any questions. The chat room is open to this webinar right now, and you're welcome to put your questions in there real time, and my team members are standing by to give you answers. Let's start with the case competition and the challenge itself. The organizers have put together these next 3 slides to help you understand what it is they're looking for this competition. I'll go ahead and read this first challenge statement, but we want you to dig in farther to learn a little bit more about what it all means and what you're trying to do. So the challenge statement: to design an innovative technology solution that addresses a problem aligned to achieving accessible and equitable quality education. This challenge came from the inspiration of the Sustainable Development Goal issued by the United Nations. So please check out this link when you get a chance, and make sure you learn a little bit more about what inspired the organizers to come up with this particular theme in this competition. On this slide, we have more information that talks about the challenge overview and how the goal is to identify equal and equitable access to quality education throughout our global society. We've faced a lot of challenges this last year, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic, and it's compounded a lot of long existing challenges that were originally there in education that have just made it even worse. So technology can be a key to addressing these issues, and so part of this case competition is for you to figure out what are those items of technology and those innovative solutions that can help you bring quality education to be a right for everyone and not just a privilege. Even though you're current students, the world needs your expertise and empathy and unique perspective to design technological solutions to this global problem. As a participant, you're going to have a couple objectives. One is to keep focused on this case competition, but the organizers want you to design a solution that should address one of the diverse challenges outlined in the theme and demonstrate how technology can help communities in need around the world. As you continue on in this case competition, keep referring back to the challenge statement, to these objectives, and make sure you're staying on track with the mission that's in front of you. On to the prizes. This is the part everybody likes to hear about, so I put it at the front of this presentation. This year we have a really generous prize pool. The total is $37,000, and it's broken down to 4 categories, but we'll start with the grand prize. Not only is it at $20,000 US dollars that goes to the winning team, it's also 2 really key invitations. One is from the Clinton Global Initiative University. They will invite the winning team members, the students of that team, to participate in their year-round program that supports the next generation in developing social impact projects to address pressing societal challenges, which sounds like an amazing opportunity. The next invitation you'll receive is to the CGIU 2022 virtual annual meeting hosted by President Bill Clinton and Chelsea Clinton. And in addition to all those experiences, you will get more networking, mentoring, skills training, leadership development, professional growth, all provided by CGIU throughout the entire year. In addition to those 2 great opportunities and the cash prize, every student on the winning team will be invited to apply to IBM job opportunities. IBM will consider each applicant and make sure that the winning team members have an opportunity to interview for roles for which you qualify. Also part of this breakdown in the prize money is the $10,000 for the runner-up team and the $5,000 for the second runner-up team. And and I should say that all members of both teams will also be considered for IBM job opportunities. Your applications will be accepted, and if you have skills and qualities that they are looking for, you will have the opportunity to interview for those positions, which is a great opportunity these days. And the 4th breakdown of the total prize money is our gamification opportunity. We've designated $2,000 as a prize pool for those 10 individuals who earn the most points during the gamification activity. So that means every 10 people can be eligible for $200 US dollars, which is a great great treat in and of its own. So later on, we'll tell you how to earn those points. Case competition timeline. All right, some key dates you need to know about. Registration officially began in August, as most of you know, because that's how you got to this webinar. But as of today, this on September 30th, the case competition is officially in progress. The competition has started today, and the last day of the competition is November 11th. Now keep in mind, you can register at any time throughout that window, but you cannot register, but the last day to register for an individual will close on November 10th at midnight Pacific time. And if you're a team registering, it closes at 9 p.m. on November 11th, which in turn is also the very last day for your project submission deadline. This is a key date to remember. Please make note of it. On Thursday, November 11th at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, in order to qualify for the case competition, all final presentation videos and projects must be submitted by 9 p.m. Late submissions will not be accepted. So please make a note of this. We don't want all of your hard work to go without any recognition. So keep this on your radar. And this, of course, will be on the platform as well. And we'll try to remind you throughout and send you emails to make sure you're staying on track. There are some post-event activities. Judging will happen between November 15th and the 21st. And then on December 7th, the winners will be announced, and there will be an awards ceremony webinar. So stay tuned and look for information, more details on that pretty soon. Webinars, I've mentioned them a couple times, and now we're going to go review some of those because they are going to be important in your gamification activities, but they're also important to help you get through this case competition. We'll have technical webinars, and we'll have some that are just helping you be better at presenting your materials to the judges. When you enter the platform, you'll have the opportunity to find some tabs, and you'll see the projects, the meetings, the webinars, and the Q&A. All the webinars will be listed on that tab, and you'll be able to see what time they're going to air live or be a replay, and who will be the speakers and what is the breakdown of that webinar. So make sure you check back on the platform frequently to find out when those webinars are happening. Here's a little run through of a couple of them. We're having the kickoff event now. And tomorrow we'll have a live webinar of team formation, and that'll be an opportunity for you to join live and to that webinar and actually find team members and create and build your teams. We're also going to have a design thinking session with the sponsors from Intuit, and we'll have another live team formation webinar on October 13th. So make sure you're paying attention to those dates if you need to build a team, or if you're trying to build a team, or you want to be a part of a team. And some additional things, we also have a very great panel discussion that's going to be moderated by Chelsea Clinton on Thursday, October 14th. The technology capabilities webinar will be on the 21st. We have a storytelling and submission best practices webinar on the 28th. And then it all comes to a close on December 7th when we announce the winners. So please check the webinar schedule on the platform and make sure you're informed when all of these are happening. Team formation. As we've said before, it's a really important thing to have a great team for these case competitions. There's a couple ways of doing that with the call for code, and we'll walk through that now. Just a couple of basics though. No team should have more than 5 members, and no team members should be on multiple teams. A project page will be created for each team submission using the event platform. All team members must be added to the project page. So if you have a team, you have to make sure that each person on your team has made their own registration profile so that they can be added to that project page. And of course, a reminder that the last day to register your team is November 11th in 2021 at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the event platform. All these links and URLs and everything I'm discussing in this session right now will be available on the event platform as well as in the chat of this webinar that's happening now. So don't worry if you're not catching it now. We'll make sure you get this information. Team formation, how to join and form a team. We have 3 particular ways that you can do that. And as I've mentioned, there will be the live team formation webinars. We have a dedicated Slack channel, and then you can also join through the event platform. Just a quick run through. The webinars, as I mentioned it a little bit before, they're going to be live October 1st at 8 a.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. It will be a Zoom call, and you can join on there. And then again on October 13th. And what you'll do when you get on those Zoom calls is you'll join that chat room. You'll introduce yourself, give us your name, a general location of where you live and reside, and an email address. And you'll want to indicate if you're looking for a team or if you're looking for team members. Make sure to be clear about your area of expertise and your skill sets. And if you're looking for team members, make sure what kind of skill sets you're looking for and how many more team members you need to add. So again, those are for the live team formation webinars that are coming up soon. Also, I mentioned the Slack channel. On our Slack channel, you can join that. Here's the URL to do that. You'll have separate discussion groups for team formation, mentor help, tech support, and competition updates. So keep your eye on the Slack channel. It's a very informative place to be, and it's really helpful for everybody to kind of crowdsource and come together and help each other out if you need it. And the last way to join a team, or at least to form a team through this case competition, is through the Q&A section on the event platform. Be sure to, again, provide information on your name and email and where you might live, and just a region, I guess, and a state. You don't have to give anything more particular than that. But what kind of team would you like to join? What's your area of expertise and skill set? And if you're looking for members, make sure you identify how many you need and what skill sets you're looking for. And that should get you guys set up. Remember, team formation is really important for these competitions. The event platform, I've mentioned it a bunch of times, and now you finally get to see it. So this is the URL for the event platform. I'll do a quick brief of it, and here we go. All right, this is the front page of our case competition. As you'll see, most of the information I'm covering in this overview, you'll find all throughout this website. It's got everything you're going to want to learn and want to know about this case. Also up here in the navigation bar, you'll be able to submit your project. Go right here, add a project. It'll give you a reminder of when the deadline is. We won't let you forget it. But in here is where you can add an image background, a video background, any illustration you need to identify your project submission. You can put your project title, and you can put a brief description of your solution right here, or the challenge you chose. Also, make sure that you enter the video presentation URL here. Make sure it's unlocked if you've used another platform, so that the judges and the organizers can get access to it. Once you've had everything filled in and you've uploaded everything you need to do for your project, you'll see more information here. Make sure you hit this button over here from draft to publish, and that way it will be an official submission to our platform. There's also going to be, I'll navigate over here to the one-on-one meetings. You can find, I'll use myself as an organizer. If you need to ask me a question, you can send me a message this way, and you can book a one-on-one meeting with me. This is really meant for the mentors, and once this information is here and available, we'll make it live and available to all of you. Webinars, as I mentioned earlier as well, they will all be listed here with the names of the speakers and a little brief description about what it is and what time it's happening. So make sure you keep an eye on this schedule. It's going to be great information for you to get through this challenge. Q&A. This is the other way that I mentioned about forming teams. You'll see that there's some questions that already have started. We'll make sure to put our case competition updates here on this site. There's also tech support that if you need to ask us questions, you can reach us this way, and team formation can happen here as well. As you can see, some discussions have already started. That's under the Q&A section of the platform. And then insight and resources. You're going to want to make sure to watch, I'll mention this later on, but there are submission requirements that you should become familiar with. So make sure you read this document. We also have the opportunity here to join Slack, as I suggested, and sign up for the newsletter. And of course, with every one of these sites, you have your frequently asked questions. So this is a great way to find out things that you think you should know or that you think are somewhere close by and just can't remember where you last saw it. But here it is. And of course, we have the official rules. When you register, you should have agreed to these terms and conditions of the official rules. And if you have any questions about them, they can be found here under Insights and Resources. And of course, we'll have our mentors section built out, and you'll be able to go and book your one-on-one sessions with your mentors there. So this is the event platform. My team, of course, as I said before, is standing by ready to help you engage with it in any way that you need it. But we hope you find it, we hope you have a good experience with it, and please let us know if there's anything you need from us. I'll return back to our slides. So that is the event platform. Gamification. This is something a little bit more fun than the other contents I've been speaking about, but like with all good case competitions, this one has an opportunity to earn some extra points. The way we've done this year is that you will earn points for all the activities that you participate in. So it's, for viewing a live webinar, it's 150 points. If you watch a replay of the webinar, it's 125 points. And if you complete a one-on-one meeting with a mentor or an event speaker, that's 100 points. And the top 10 with the most points will win the $2,000. The total was $2,000 that we've set aside, but it will be distributed amongst the top 10 winners with the most points for a $200 cash prize. So that's pretty good thing to strive for. So make sure you watch those webinars, not just for the content, which will be obviously very helpful to you, but it's also part of gamification. So keep on your toes and watch the webinar schedule. You'll see this is just another slide showing you how the points will break down once you're in the platform. And we've added something new. I think this is new this year. This is a TikTok challenge. It's actually happening outside of the platform. But if you choose to make a TikTok video for this challenge, make sure to include the hashtag CFC Tech for Good in your video to get credit. The points for your video will be totaled at the end of the challenge, but it won't appear on our leaderboard. So don't worry if you're not seeing those points. They are being tracked in the background. But it is important that if you do participate in the TikTok challenge to make sure you use that hashtag CFC Tech for Good. Judging criteria. This year we've come up with 4 primary criteria that will be used for the judging process. So keep these in the back of your head, back of your mind as you're going through this. Keep referring to what is it that the judges will be looking for to make your submission a very successful one. The first one is relevancy and impact. How relevant is the solution to the stated challenge? How effectively does the technical solution address the identified issue within the theme? Make sure you're reading these, the criteria, and staying on top of what are the judges going to be looking for. The next one is design and feasibility. And what's great about this is we're going to actually have a webinar on design. So make sure you check in on that webinar so that you can apply what you learned there to this part of your, this facet of your case submission. Innovation and originality. Is the solution new and disruptive? How unique and innovative is the approach that you're bringing to the table? And finally, compelling storytelling. Everybody likes a good story, and so it's no different here in this case competition. But you want to make sure that the submission materials articulate the problem well, and that the target user and their experience, and how the technological solution would address the problem. How relatable and engaging was the solution story? And if you have any more questions on that, we also have a webinar that's going to support that. And I think that one's late, a couple weeks from now. But pay attention to the webinars. They're going to really help you throughout this whole process. Submission requirements. I think I mentioned that when we were on the platform. It's on the Insights and Resources page, and you will find the link to it here as well. But remember, there's no more than 5 team members per team, with no team members on multiple teams. Review the submission requirements. Project creation happens on the platform in the Projects tab. All team members must be added to the project page. Note, team members must have their own registration profile in order to do this. And your project must be published before November 11th, or by November 11th, 2021 at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That is the deadline. There's also the presentation slides that you'll be adding to the platform page. Make sure whatever method you use, if it's Google Slides or whatever, make sure they're public and viewable to the judges and to the organizers. And if you can't manage the Google Slide aspect, you're more than welcome to put a PDF, attach that to your project page. And video presentation and demo. Please post a 3-minute video presentation of your demo in the project page. I think I pointed that out when we were on the platform URL. Let the judges know what challenge you've addressed, what your project is about, and share a short demo of your solution. Make sure you share a link and make sure it's on the platform page and everyone can have access to it. And if you don't know how to make a presentation video, we have a link here to help you do that. And as I just mentioned, and as I pointed out before, the video presentation demo link should be entered in the space below, just like this on the event platform. And we're getting close to the end here. We're at the resources. This is really an important slide. If you haven't heard anything else I've said, this is the learning plan that has been put forth for this case competition. You will find a link called Call for Code Education Innovation Case Competition Resources. And it's listed below here, and it's going to be on the platform as well. And you want to make sure that you dive into this link and get the learning plan. Will include the research materials and the data sources that you need for this competition. There'll be learning modules on some of the IBM and other technologies that you might want to include in your solution. There's design thinking resources, storytelling tips and guidance to help your presentation stand out, and of course best practices on how to put your submission materials together and get noticed by the judges. Check this out. This is one of the most important pages in this entire overview. And of course, if you have any questions, our team is standing by to help you. And I think we're just about there, sorry. And the last page. These are all the URLs and the links that I have mentioned throughout this. There's the learning plan that we just discussed, the submission requirements, the event platform itself, the case competition inspiration that we started to kick off this overview with, the official rules, which will be on the platform as well. Participant frequently asked questions is available, the Slack URL, and the virtual platform guide. If you get into real trouble, that we have a guide there to show you how the platform works. Again, my name is Susie Kother, and I'm with Be My App, and we are all standing behind you, waiting for you to participate in this case competition. We're excited that you're here. We look forward to the solutions you're going to present. It's going to be a great competition, and we're so glad that you've chosen to be a part of it. Please reach out if you have any questions, and good luck and happy learning.
Thank you to our fantastic speakers. Before we close, I just want to remind you all to attend the upcoming competition events. Make sure you are checking the competition website for dates and times. We have several great sessions coming up. I especially want to call out that on Thursday, October 14th, we are so excited to welcome Chelsea Clinton, who will be moderating a panel discussion on enhancing access to quality education, technology, and the opportunities ahead. Keep an eye on the competition Slack channel. As that session gets closer, we'll give you an opportunity to send in your questions. Maybe you'll have one of your questions answered by Chelsea Clinton or one of the other panelists. I want to thank our collaborators on this competition, the the Clinton Foundation, and Clinton Global Initiative University. Thank you to our sponsor, Intuit. And I especially want to thank all of our student participants for attending today and for the great solutions I know you'll be putting forth in this competition. We look forward to seeing you at one of the 2 team building sessions coming in the next few days. So check the competition calendar. Thank you.